It's been a long, long, hard road. Studying is never easy, but they have accomplished what they set out to do, and that is to graduate. I feel for them, and I know the pride that they feel within themselves. One always hopes that having gone through those long, arduous times of study, that what they have accomplished, they will try and pass on to others to come. We can see them just slowly walking in to take their seats. Some look anxious, but it's a sort of anxiousness that shows pride. How happy they are that this section of their study is over. Now they go on to other things. Those who are now with their masters will go on probably to do their doctorate. And I think that this is what academia is about. The open campus of the University of the West Indies have, especially for the smaller territories, this has been a culmination of years of putting things together to bring as many of the territories into education, higher education that is. And we could see that this has been accomplished. Now it's for the university, the open campus of the University of the West Indies, to go on to bigger things. And I'm sure they will, because there's the capacity to do so. We have students today who are graduates today who are coming from Grenada, St. Kitts, Dominica, even Trinidad. We have also our own, the St. Lucian students. So you can see that they are from St. Vincent also. So there's nearly a lot of the islands are here today, or students from a lot of the islands are here today to graduate. And for me, this is a tremendous occasion. It is one that highlights the feeling that education is within our grasp. It's not that far away now, and the open campus has made that possible for students. And for me, and for many others, it is an important part of our educational history. We have moved the stage from the few to now the many, who will now get a degree and get their masters, their doctorate. And this is what it's all about, and this is what helps in the development of the Caribbean. One hopes that the students themselves will pass that on to what they have acquired, the knowledge that they have acquired, because Solomon always says that knowledge is wisdom, and consequently wisdom should be shared. It should not be held by anyone. We should, in all humility, pass it on to others to come. The graduates are still slowly trekking into the auditorium to take their seats before the ceremony starts in earnest. And that is when the Governor General will arrive to take her seat. They stand there with pride in their faces. They feel happy that that segment of their educational career has now come to an end. Once again, a good morning, wherever you are in the Caribbean, especially those in the open campus territories. I am Dennis Springer. I am a lecturer at the Open Campus, a research fellow, and today is the big day for many students. It's a special day, not just a big day, a special day when they have now got to the stage where all what they've worked for academically is now coming to fruition, whether it be a degree, a master's. They are now waiting for the ceremony to begin. The graduates have taken their seats, and now we are waiting for the Governor General to come for the ceremony to begin. For me, looking at the graduates today, it tells you that they are proud of what they have achieved, whether it be degree, master's, or doctorate. We can see them standing, waiting for the Governor General to arrive. There will be an announcement made, and when the Governor General gets in, we will hear the St. Lucia National Anthem. It is such a special occasion, especially if you're in academia. The satisfaction for many of the lecturers to see that the hard work that they've put in with the students and the students' hard work themselves have now come to fruition, and they have accomplished in essence what they set out to do. What I say to the graduates today, something that I remember, that now you've been given the knowledge by the Open Campus. Go out and share that knowledge with others. You've been very fortunate, so help others. Wisdom, as Solomon said, is an important thing. You are now far richer than you were, not in terms of economic gain, but in terms of knowledge. And knowledge is something that needs to be shared. I feel proud for the graduates, and they feel proud for themselves too.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the Governors General and remain standing until after the national anthem of St. Lucia is played and the Governor General of St. Lucia takes her seat. His Excellency Sir Rodney Williams, Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda.
The Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda now walks in ahead of the Governor General of St. Lucia. Well, what I can see now is the Governor General of St. Lucia.
Her Excellency
walking in.
Dame Paulette Louise, Governor General of St. Lucia.
Governor General Dame Paulette Louise is now walking in. She has a smile on her face. The national anthem is being played now. Everyone in their robes. We see now the red robes, black robes, blue robes. Very important. It signifies their place within academia.
Her Excellency, the Paulette Louise, Governor General of St. Lucia, Their Excellency Sir Rodney Williams, Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda, and Lady Williams, His Excellency Sir Edmund Lawrence, Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Philip J. Pierre, Acting Prime Minister of St. Lucia, members of the university and open campus councils, Vice Chancellor Professor E. Nigel Harris and Dr. Yvette Williams Harris, principals, pro-vice chancellors, and other members of the platform party who accompanied me, former pro-vice chancellor and principal of the open campus, Professor Hazel Simmons MacDonald, and deputy principal, Professor Vivian Roberts, our representative of the Canadian High Commission in Barbados, members of staff of the University of the West Indies, our honorary graduates, you, the graduating class of 2014, family and friends of the graduating class, ladies and gentlemen, a warm good morning to you. Good morning. First, let me welcome you to this graduating ceremony for the Open Campus, which is being held for the second time in St. Lucia. And the presence of such a large and distinguished gathering is an indication of the interest you have in the University of the West Indies in general, and this Open Campus in particular. The early days of any institution are always opportunities for cautious celebration. We have seen the Open Campus surviving the early problems of infancy and now growing to fulfill its purpose of making quality university education open to those who would wish to reach their full potential. Of course, it is always good to be in St. Lucia because, as our Derek Walcott writes in what I consider his finest book, White Egrets, he writes, "This small place produces nothing but beauty. The wind-warped trees, the breakers on the Dennery cliffs, and the wild light that loosens a galloping mare on the plains of Beaufort make us merely receiving vessels of each day's grace. Light simplifies us, whatever our race or our gifts." Next, I must congratulate our new principal, Professor Eudine Barreto, who is assuming her position at a critical time in the history of the Open Campus. And based on her previous work and her experience in university and Caribbean matters, I have absolutely no doubt about her ability to lead this campus and have it grow and prosper. Congratulations, Professor. Let us also congratulate Professor Julie Meeks, our new deputy principal, who brings a wealth of relevant experience to the campus. It is also fitting to record again our gratitude to Professor Hazel Simmons MacDonald, one of your own St. Lucians, who as the first principal was a key architect in laying the foundation upon which we continue to build the superstructure. And also, I include in this our retiring deputy principal, Professor Vivian Roberts. For some of you, the notion and basis of the open campus is novel. And many ask the questions, why an open campus? As if our other campuses are closed. Since its inception in 1948, the university has been concerned with adult, continuing, and professional education and distance learning in a wide range of disciplines. And our university has long abandoned any idea of closed campuses, if indeed any campus can be closed. Our first Vice Chancellor, Sir Arthur Lewis, he saw that the maintenance of a regional institution depended on geographical diversification and not on retaining single cloistered elite institutions, delightful though that was for those who lived and studied there. I have to point this out frequently to those who regard the establishment of individual campuses as in some way inimical to the concept of regionalism. I would posit that Arthur saw it differently, and he believed that regionalism would be enhanced by having multiple sites over which the university flag would fly. Of course, this went along with his view of the need for massive increases in the production of trained persons. He would call them clerks, who would be responsible for the development of the Caribbean people in its widest sense. And it is possible that his conceptualization of that educational regionalism, he would have been influenced by the fact that both his parents had migrated from Antigua to St. Lucia, where he was born. Time and circumstance may have limited Sir Arthur's arithmetic to 3, but in its 60th year, the university decided to merge its former outreach departments to form the open campus. And the driving concept was that the university should be able to offer quality education to all people, within and without the Caribbean, especially to the adult population. And reference is often made to the technical opportunity and the pedagogical necessity for this move. but seldom do we speak of the political imperative that was part of the reason for this initiative. When I became chancellor in 2002 and I established a commission on governance of the university, it was made crystal clear to us and to me by more than one senior politician that the university would become increasingly irrelevant if there were not recognizable, substantial physical footprints in what were then referred to pejoratively as the non-campus territories. The university had to be seen as the university of each and every one of its contributing territories. And the regionalism of the initial geographical diversification was imperfect and complete, and would only be perfected and complete with these enhanced visible presences throughout the Caribbean. The mechanism of satisfying the educational and political imperatives of that more perfect regionalism owes much to the then PVC Lawrence Carrington, and placing the open campus on a firm footing over these past years owes much, as I've said before, to Professor Hazel Simmons MacDonald. She would be indefatigable in her pursuit of a campus that would have the reputation of being online, on site, and on demand. But ladies and gentlemen, the formation of this campus owes much, perhaps even more, to our present Vice Chancellor, Professor Nigel Harris, who was an ardent advocate for its creation. Professor Harris will be demitting office next year, having served for 10 years as our 6th Vice Chancellor. And he will leave a record of committed and exemplary service to the University of the West Indies, the Caribbean, and more importantly, the Caribbean people. The record will show how he tried to make real his oft-articulated vision of the university as an institution of first choice for Caribbean people. Those who sought high-quality undergraduate and graduate education, he would be committed to an institution that was first in the development of the new knowledge needed for our development. An institution that would be the first port of call for Caribbean governments, those who wished advice and technical expertise. I will have other opportunities to dilate on the achievements of Professor Harris, but now I would simply ask you to join me in showing our appreciation for what he has done, especially for the open campus. Professor Harris will be succeeded by Sir Hilary Beckles, who is currently principal of the Cayfield campus. Professor Beckles is of solid and impeccable academic pedigree, a committed regionalist, known and highly respected internationally for his scholarship. He has devoted his formidable talents in recent years to the development of the Cayfield campus, which has little been transformed physically and academically under his stewardship. There will also be other opportunities to speak in extenso of Sir Hilary, but now I ask you to congratulate him and welcome him as our Vice Chancellor designate. So Hilary sits on my left, not because of any orientation of his. We are proud of the open campus as it is, but we know, like all organisms, it will change. All organisms change or die. It will change as the technology of providing learning experiences changes, and there's continued enhancement in the means of communication. I'm sure some of the change has already begun as a result of the self-study which the campus has gone through to achieve its formal institutional accreditation, which has achieved very recently. And this accreditation signals that Trinidad and Tobago has recognized the accreditation given by the Barbados Council. There are many of us who would wish to see national accreditations supplemented by a regional accreditation system. But beyond accreditation, our university has long argued for some rationalization of tertiary education in the Caribbean. And I confess that is a source of much disappointment to me that our ministers of education have not insisted within CARICOM that we at least begin to define the landscape of tertiary education in the region. And we speak of production of human resources as a necessary input for our human development, but I have found it nigh impossible to see clearly the contours of the tertiary education landscape and the extent to which our products match our needs. I trust that in the not too distant future, we will see major changes in the physical plant of the campus and the contributing territories, and I must thank the government of Trinidad and Tobago for the Chaguarama site. What will not change, however, is the quality of the education provided. But perhaps now in its 6th year, it is time to revisit the functions of the campus that have served it so well so far. It may be time to examine the relationship of the open campus to the other three to determine if the university as an institution is maximizing use of its resources and whether the strengths of the four might be leveraged more effectively. And one of the processes in the university as a whole which generates change is that of quality assurance. Its quality assurance procedures allow the university to examine and improve its learning and teaching activities, and they do that in order to ensure that they achieve the appropriate standard of excellence. And I've always believed that this process is critical within the framework of the university being accountable to its stakeholders. And I never tire of trying to instill into our public the confidence that must come from our quality assurance practices. But these matters of academic organization need not concern you graduates today. Today is a time to congratulate and rejoice with you. I know that for those of you present and those of your colleagues who could not be here, this is a very special day. It represents for you the moment to receive public recognition of your having achieved and satisfied the academic requirements of the University of the West Indies. And forever, you will bear the stamp of the Pelican. I know that it could not have come without considerable work and dedication on your part. Dedication on your part, dedication on the part of the faculty, and dedication on the part of the loved ones who supported you. But I'm sure that the accolades will be sweeter for the more mature of you who've often had to combine the responsibilities of work, home, and classroom. I know of no better example than someone who's had to combine the responsibilities of work, home, and classroom than one of our graduates from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I tell you the story because this touched me. Sylvanus Horn, who's a member of staff at the University of Open Campus site for over 14 years in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And he joined the site on the 15th of April, 1998. And he joined the site as an office attendant. He always wanted to study at a higher level, but never knew how and when to start. However, after joining UWI, he was encouraged to enroll in the Certificate of Public Administration, which he pursued between 2001 and then 2006. He then enrolled and pursued the BSc Management Studies program in 2007. And 2012, he received his letter of completion from the University of the West Indies, having fulfilled all the requirements to the Bachelor of Science degree in Management Studies. He says it was stressful at times, having to forego important family and personal commitments in order to meet deadlines and prepare for final exams. But, however, his message is to young people: follow your dreams, believe in yourselves, and work hard, and you will achieve your goals in the end. I hope Mr. Horn is watching. But I'm also pleased when there are families, not only individuals, that come to a university. And one of the stories I was really touched by is about a family. It's a special time for students who have endured and successfully completed their studies. And this year in St. Kitts and Nevis, there's a case for 3 students, siblings, who will attend the ceremony this year. Dalton Esdail, I hope I pronounced it correctly, and his sisters, Severin Esdail Henry and Chevelle Esdail. Are they here? There they are. Well done, well done, well done. They, Severin and Chevelle pursued the BSc Management Studies option, while Dalton was successful in his quest to be a graduate in the Bachelor of Education. Now, it is not only you that I wish to congratulate, but your father is here. Your father came with you all the way from St. Kitts. Where's your dad? He must be standing somewhere. Mr. Nathan Esdail, he made a decision to travel with them to St. Lucia to celebrate with them. I think we should congratulate you, sir, and your 3 siblings. So when you have children, I hope you will come back here too to have your This year, there are 766 of you, 658 with bachelor's degrees, associate's, diplomas, and certificates, and 108 at the postgraduate level. And you come from almost every one of the Caribbean countries, and I offer my special congratulations to 105 of you who have obtained first-class honors. And I also wish to congratulate the 31 postgraduates who achieved distinction status. Well done. The campus received several grants during the year, and I must make special mention of the one from the Canadian Department of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Development for 20 million Canadian dollars, which has been operative since April. And the stated purpose of the grant is to increase employment and other income-generating opportunities by improving access to post-secondary education for persons living in remote and underserved communities through the open campus. This will make a tremendous difference to the operation of the campus. I'd like to thank the Government of Canada. Who is represented here, as I said before, by its representative. You who are about to graduate today will immediately become our alumni. And you will join a band of men and women who have done this institution proud, and I am confident you will do the same. I urge you to be active in your alumni chapters and to take an interest in alumni affairs. You are the fruits of the university experience, and it is as true here as elsewhere, by their fruits ye shall know them. And our university will be seen and regarded through what you do in the various fields in which you will labor. And you will be judged by how you perform, especially in the world of work. I know you will do well. It is not hubris to say that our graduates have always done well. But I trust that your teaching, reading, and social intercourse during the period of your study has imbued something special into you. I trust that you will be proud professors of the regional faith and proactive protectors of the regional flame. I like to think that our institution fails in its pristine purpose if it is seen only as fulfilling a credentialing function and not advocating for the regionalism, which is one of the bases on which it was created. I must also thank those of you who have supported our new graduates through these difficult years. I hope you're satisfied that the product has been worth the investment in money, sweat, and tears. Yes, tears. And I trust that you share in the joy of achievement which is being celebrated today. I also hope you will not lose contact with the University of the West Indies. I hope you will read about it, criticize it when necessary, but please hold on to it as one of the great Caribbean legacies. Ladies and gentlemen, we are met today in order that we may mark by a formal ceremony the entry of certain of our members into the community of graduates and the academic achievement of others. As a university, we are an academic society of undergraduates, bachelors, masters, and doctors. And we follow the academic tradition in the pursuit of knowledge and the encouragement of learning, purposes which are laid down in the preamble to the Royal Charter, by which we have been granted the powers needful for the prosecution of our affairs. In pursuing these aims, our members advance from time to time to a higher standing in the academic community, and it is fit and proper that as a body we should celebrate their achievement. It is marked by the granting of a degree or diploma or license or certificate, and we rejoice with our graduates on their advancement. Thank you.
Chancellor, I now ask the public orator, Dr. Francis Severin, to present Sir Brian Arlene, whom the Senate and the Council of the University have been pleased to recommend for the award of the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
Chancellor, George Lamming contends that men make their own history, but we can only make that portion of it which our concrete circumstances allow. The process of our thought, the hidden nature of our needs, the character and quality of our imagination may be decisively influenced by these origins. Sir Brian G.K. Alleyne's life seems to deny this apparent determinism. He represents a rare species which has never let concrete circumstances detain or constrain him, if such circumstances did not measure up to his honor, integrity, principles, benevolence, and philosophy of noble service. He spurns what Laming calls moral infirmity, especially in the realm of public office. But even when the tide is against him, he is never flustered. His bearing on legal, political, and social issues habitually being one of equanimity and judiciousness. Sir Brian's over 3 decades of public life, taking the political watershed year of 1979 in the Commonwealth of Dominica as a point of departure, epitomizes what he refers to as a servant leader, a neologism that expresses his keen understanding of the reciprocal nature of political office. Graciousness is his trademark, and Chancellor, many of his contemporaries as well as his successors in the legal and political fields should take a leaf from the exemplary life of this knight commander of the nation. He has the moral authority to speak, since his experience embraces all spheres of government, the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. In 1966, Sir Brian was called to the Honorable Society of Lincoln's Inn as a barrister at law. He was later admitted as a barrister and solicitor in Dominica in 1967. He spent the succeeding 12 to 13 years in private legal practice and was elevated to senior counsel in 1991, a signal of respect by his peers for his expertise and depth of knowledge. He heeded the call to public service in 1980 and contested the historic election that brought to power the first female prime minister in the Caribbean, Dame Mary Eugenia Charles. He became the member for parliament for the Maho constituency, representing his constituents honorably and nobly from June 1980 to June 1996, when he voluntarily retired from Parliament. While in government, he held various ministerial portfolios, including labor, community development, women's affairs, attorney general, continuously until May 1995, when the Freedom Party could no longer hold the enthusiasm of the masses, to use an elegant turn of phrase by Laming. Sir Brian managed a number of projects and initiatives during his tenure as Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs and Security. These included, inter alia, placing the police, prisons, and fire services under one ministry for more effective administration, reviewing the prison system and introducing improved measures for the rehabilitation of offenders, and consolidating the fight against drug trafficking through the establishment of a special drugs unit within the police service. In an epoch of increasingly self-serving accumulation, Sir Brian recalls as his greatest satisfaction the opportunity to serve his people. The formula, he says, is to come to terms with the fact that public office is a job of service, not self-aggrandizement. It is also not a profession or means of livelihood, he counsels. Sir Brian urges, an effective politician needs to have a sense of his own worth, of his own independence, and he is not reliant for his existence on the leader. He is not a cipher. He is distressed by the ever more tribal party politics today. He, however, maintains his typical composure and poise in speaking to these matters. Sir Brian was appointed High Court Judge in Grenada, July 1996 to February 2002, and in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to August 2003. He was Justice of Appeal in September 2003. Dominicans will forever reminisce with satisfaction about Sir Brian assuming the noble position of Acting Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court in March 2005, a position he filled with characteristic dignity until April 2008, when he retired. Chancellor, we should have thanked Sir Brian more for his rare brand of grace, elegance, and class in politics and in law. Mercifully, it is not too late. Let us not harden our hearts if today we hear the voice of Sir Brian calling for the legal profession to take more seriously the issue of self-regulation, or beseeching politicians who assume they are the alpha and the omega to temper their ways, or dissuading lawyers who seem to brook a seamless transfer of funds between their accounts and that of their clients, or encouraging young lawyers to develop their knowledge and understanding of the law through conscientious practice and continuing education, or advocating for the bar associations across the region to establish constitutional arrangements that would allow them to investigate and discipline lawyers who flout ethical standards, or employing the Caribbean public to support the Caribbean Court of Justice because we have the requisite legal luminaries to fulfill that mandate, and as Caribbean people who are part of a distinct and identifiable region, it is fitting that we should have our own court of last resorts. Chancellor, the University of the West Indies will not err here, and so, by the authority entrusted to you by the Senate and Council, we take especial pleasure in asking you to confer upon Sir Brian G.K. Alleyne, this selfless, honorable, and decent human being with an immense heart, strong mind, and calm spirit, the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Sir, I now ask the public orator to present Dr. Earl Long, whom the Senate and the Council of the University have been pleased to recommend for the award of the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa.
Chancellor, while most youngsters would be engaged in supposedly exciting activities on weekends, this youngster's hideaway was his uncle Ezra's workplace, a medical laboratory in St. Lucia. I started at a very young age. I had my first microscope at 13. It was not something that I had planned to do. It just came naturally. These are the utterances of a leading light in science, technology, and innovation, Dr. Earl G. Long, born in St. Lucia, an island which, for good reason, has earned the sobriquet Helen of the West Indies, and on the intellectual side has produced many illustrious thinkers, including the Caribbean's first 2 Nobel laureates. In perusing his curriculum vitae, one must easily conclude that Dr. Long might have been the third. Why the relatively rare field of medical parasitology? Dr. Long's response evinces a keen sense of entrepreneurship and resourcefulness, but also his curiosity and concern to find answers in the field often represented as the neglected disease of mankind. Parasites, he urges, are not a glamorous group of organisms to study. Most scientists find them nauseous. So he got into this sphere because it was wide open, a lot to do there, and not many people were interested in it. Moreover, I thought it was a good opportunity to go into a field where I would accomplish something rather than in one where I would be competing with everybody. Dr. Long's chronicle, Chancellor, captures very well Chaucer's adage, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Inquisitiveness and curiosity, while undesirable attributes for many, were routine for Dr. Long. Simply, he expresses, I only have one life, and this is a very big world, and there is a lot I want to find out before I die. Chancellor, if ever there was anyone who is empirically validated Alistair Cook's hypothesis that curiosity is free-willing intelligence, it would be this scientist. His penchant for research and his science trajectory began early. While pursuing undergraduate studies at the University of Western Ontario, 1967 to 1971, he became a research and teaching assistant. In 1973, he was a research assistant in the Ministry of Health, St. Lucia, and a research officer in 1977 to 1980 in the same ministry. During the 1990s, and at the turn of the 21st century, he filled a variety of academic posts at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, including duties at the Parasitic Disease Branch, undertaking prevention research in the guinea worm disease, and diagnostic parasitology, 1987 to 1989. And the experimental pathology branch doing research on the diagnosis, epidemiology, and biology of Cyclospora cayetanensis, 1989-1994. His contemporary positions and contributions include health scientist, Division of Parasitic Disease, National Center for Infectious Disease, adjunct professor, Mao School of Medicine, Atlanta, Georgia, and technical advisor, USAID, malaria control in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Dr. Long is an authority in his field. He has made a number of presentations at conferences and workshops, published several papers in international refereed journals, and authored several book chapters. During his time in the Congo, Dr. Long conducted groundbreaking research on malaria, tuberculosis, AIDS, and gastroenterology. Here is where, Chancellor, the aphorism, necessity is the mother of invention, becomes material. Providence, some may say. Functioning in the absence of cable-transmitted electricity for powering his microscope, an indispensable tool in his work, he decided to design a battery-powered EARL light, the external autonomous repositionable lightweight light, which became an invaluable resource for field use. Chancellor, speaking of providence, nay, serendipity, it is not often that one finds a prominent and successful scientist who ventures into literature and the liberal arts. But we have established that Earl Long is curious and inquisitive. He said he grew up as a very shy kid, and therefore he was not good at making friends. However, he found a lot of comfort in books and started reading at an early age, discovering books in his father's small library that were way beyond his age level. He was reading Shakespeare at about 6 or 7. This, Chancellor, is before he read comics. He would read everything, he reflects, Charles Dickens, or even labels on boxes. I think it was just refuge. It was a place that nobody could bother me. Nobody could laugh at me. Nobody could tease me. I could travel around the world. I could see things. I was learning things. As long, no pun intended, as there was a word, I was going to read it. Then two things happened. Dr. Long read a book by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, 100 Years of Solitude. At the same time, he heard Derek Walcott performing readings of his poetry in Atlanta. The day after that, Dr. Long got a legal pad and started writing. He conceded he did not have the skills for this type of writing. He therefore enrolled in a university short course in creative writing. Thus emerged his 4 novels situated in a West Indian milieu: Consolation, 1994, Voices from a Drum, 1996, Slicer, 2000, and Leaves in a River, 2010. About the University of the West Indies, Dr. Long ponders. When I was in Form 6 at St. Mary's College, Sir Philip Sherlock came to talk with us. His talk was interspersed with the repetition of the motto of UWI, Orient ex Occidente lux. And I was so taken with that, I assumed I was going to UWI. I decided I would be a UWI graduate. Ruefully, he adds, circumstances intervened, and not all of us went to the UWI. So this occasion is very special for me, as it is like the circle has been closed, and at last I am coming to the UWI. This really is an honor for me, he says. Chancellor, it is equally an honor for us, and we must seal the circle without delay. We therefore entreat you to invoke the powers so vested in you by the Senate and Council, and grant Dr. Earl G. Long, this productively and fruitfully inquisitive Caribbean brother from St. Lucia, the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa.
Dr. Long, for the authority vested in me by the Senate and Council of the I will now invite Dr. Long to address the company.
If you will give me a few seconds to compose myself. Chancellor, Your Excellencies, Governor General, Acting Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Vice Chancellor, Principals, Pro-Vice Chancellors and other members of the Platform Party, members of the university and open campus councils, representative of the Canadian High Commission in Barbados, members of staff of the University of the West Indies, my fellow honorary graduates, members of the graduating class of 2014, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, and Sharon. Okay. Now, I wish immediately to thank the university and my sponsors for this tremendous honor and for being asked to give the graduation address. It's a very happy coincidence for me that the two most memorable occasions of my adult life, my marriage and this gift, have taken place in St. Lucia. Okay. In gratitude, I shall spare you profound and forgettable words of advice. We all have different personalities, capabilities, and circumstances, but we do share some commonalities. And so I cannot refuse a few suggestions. Is it possible to stand here and not give advice? As you get older, you just are determined to give advice to somebody. 1, in whatever profession you choose, find a mentor, someone with the wisdom to save you from yourself, because you are going to make mistakes. 2, become financially literate. Learn about savings, investing, and the wonders of compound interest. Anchor yourself to your family and friends. And this is important, the last one, although it seems minor. Dress and speak to impress. An employer wants an asset, not a liability. Now, let us share some experiences. Since I do not know yours yet, I shall tell you some of mine, and I'm sure these will awaken some buried memories. At the age of 4, I made what I thought was a major breakthrough in the annals of science. I was playing with a toy boat and a rubber tube in a tub of water when I unwittingly placed the tube on the edge of the tub so that it began emptying the water. Imagine that. There was no pump, but the water was climbing out of the tub and out, without any effort on my part. Of course, I immediately summoned everyone within sight, parents, neighbors, everybody, to see it. And of course, they all showered me with compliments. From that moment, I wanted answers to everything. I wanted to know how cars worked, how planes flew, how boats floated, what stars were, everything. And I didn't do very well at primary school during my first years at St. Mary's College because I was impatient with regimented lessons. When there was so much to be explored, we were surrounded by the most wonderful mysteries, and school did not provide explanations except in biology. At the age of 7, I made an important discovery in aerodynamics. I launched myself out of a window with an umbrella. Of course, you see whether it worked as a parachute. And 1 second later, the pain on hitting the ground was so intense that I knew I hadn't died. And a few minutes later, when I could walk, I concluded that I hadn't broken anything. That same week, I made another important discovery, this time in hydrodynamics. I was going to teach myself to swim. I had joined some cousins on Rat Island. For those who do not know Rat Island, it's a little offshore, it's about a quarter of a mile offshore. You see it between the first and second roundabouts out in the bay there. But it was the first time that I had been overseas. And one afternoon, I was on the pier, studying very intensely the motions that people swing back and forth. And I waited till late, till everybody had gone away. Yes, I jumped in. Then immediately remembered I didn't know how to breathe in the water. So fortunately, when I sank, it was close enough to the shore, so I was able to crawl. And then I returned that part of the Caribbean Sea that I had taken with me. Afterwards, an uncle taught me to swim. There were many other discoveries after that. I went through several phases. The first was the explosives phase after I found the formula for gunpowder in a mathematics textbook. This was abandoned after I singed my left eye. There were the chemistry experiments which my parents shut down after I set fire to a mattress. Then the electronics phase, where I experimented with the transistor circuits. Then on to studying reptiles, amphibians, insects, rocks, everything that could be collected. My study of reptiles was abbreviated after my mother found a pillowcase containing 2 snakes under my bed. My sisters reminded me that on that occasion my mother left the house and would not come back. I thought it was funny. But I read voraciously to the point of addiction. I read everything: science, poetry, the classics, cooking recipes, romance, medical tech, and as I said, Shakespeare. Matter of fact, the first play of Shakespeare that I read was Midsummer Night's Dream. It was a school book of my Aunt Katie, who is there. She brought it home, so I read Midsummer Night's Dream. Didn't make any sense, but I read it. I did learn a great deal. Some of it of dubious utility, but I still find uses for some of the knowledge and skills that I picked up along the way. Now, I'm not suggesting risky behavior as a learning experience. My lower body is covered with scars, and I have 4 stainless steel screws anchoring my spine. So please do not follow my example, for some things anyway. As the great philosopher, but it is important to expand your horizons by going beyond the expected, and never, never to stop learning. It's like putting money aside. As the great philosopher, the singer Aretha Franklin said, "Let your mind go, let yourself be free." Now you have your degrees and diplomas. Will opportunities be waiting with open arms? Perhaps, but they're going to be disappointments, frustrations, failures, and the future coming at you with accelerating speed. 24 years ago, I bought my first computer. It had a capacity of 40 megabytes in the memory. Now, do you see this little thing? It's a flash drive, which I carry all my information on. It has a capacity of 32 gigabytes. That's 800 times what my first computer could hold. And it's the size of a thumbnail. So that is your future. This is what you face. Many years ago, Sir Philip Sherlock, as has been mentioned, who would serve as the Vice Chancellor of the University, he visited us in the 6th form at St. Mary's. And as you heard, he began and ended his talk with the motto of the university, Oriens ex Occidente lux. And we took that to heart. That class went on to become engineers, academicians, physicians, surgeons, economists, lawyers, accountants, businessmen, scientists, and even a parasitologist. We set out to shine, convinced that we were lights rising from the west. From today, your lives are irrevocably changed. These degrees after your names cannot be lost, stolen, or revoked. They're the key to future successes, but they come with obligations. Remember that very few of us have accomplished much by ourselves. We arrived here because of those who sacrificed, advised, gave financial assistance and encouragement and example. Many achievements in my life have been due to the fear of disappointing those who expected me to do well. And I'm deeply grateful to many of these relatives and friends who are in the audience today. It took me a lifetime to appreciate my parents' wisdom in buying books instead of toys at Christmas, and worst of all, books without pictures. Now, our Caribbean has urgent needs in food production, health, energy, finance, and the environment. I ask you to throw yourselves headlong into new experiences and endeavors. Life is too interesting and challenging to stop it being comfortable. Forget about the lifelong job and retirement and the pension. Retirement is the pause between careers. Okay? So to you, my fellow graduates, I offer sincere congratulations and wish you rewarding adventures and exciting discoveries. To the University of the West Indies, again, my most profound thanks. And lastly, I would ask my first science teacher to stand, Mr. Gregor Williams, sitting in the audience there. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Chancellor, the persons whose names will be called studied in the University of the West Indies and having fulfilled the requirements of the University of the West Indies, beg leave to be presented to you and to the Senate of the University by the Director of Academic Programming and Delivery as Bachelors of Education, Bachelors of Science, Nursing, Bachelors of Social Sciences, or as holders of Associate of Science degrees or diplomas or certificates of the University of the West Indies. Sir, the Director of Academic Programming and Delivery, Dr. Joel Warwickon.
Sir, my colleagues and I ask you to receive these persons present who, having fulfilled the requirements of this university, have been admitted to the degree of Bachelors of Education, Bachelors of Science, Nursing, Bachelors of Science, Social Sciences, or as holders of Associate of Science degrees, or diplomas or certificates of the University of the West Indies.
By the authority vested in me, I receive these persons whose names are about to be called as graduate members of our society and confer Associate of Science degrees, diplomas, and certificates of this university.
Anguilla, Bachelor of Education, Amalia Adams. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences, Daniel Brown Bowens, with first-class honors. Randy Dick. Kenesha Leverett. Associate of Science, Sherber Hughes. Antigua and Barbuda, Bachelor of Education, Chanel Dowdy, with first-class honors. Claxton Dewberry, with first-class honors. Petchen Gibbs, with first-class honors. Alden James. Nicole Russell Richards. Daniel Shepard with first-class honors. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences, Jean-Marie Carr. Florence Matthew. Kibian McKay. Celeste Richards. Isabella Simon. Petrie Smith. Associate of Science, Jamal Small. Dominica, Bachelor of Education, Louise Cornelius, with first-class honors. Bernadette Vidal, with first-class honors. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences, Natasha Coffey. Laura Dejean. Amanda Ducre. Kimani Dyer. Maliki Foy. Nadia Laville. Candice Lequen. Yolanda Maxime John. Mara McIntyre St. Rose, with first-class honors. Diana Pascal, with first-class honors. Abigail Paul. Elora Riley. Carla Rudette, with first-class honors. Lenisha Samuel. Marina Williams. Anne-Marie Xavier. Grenada, Bachelor of Education, Colleen Eban Marshall, with first class honors. Jocelyn Augustus, with first class honors. Julian Auld, with first class honors. Sabrina Bain. Shirley-Ann Blash, with first class honors. Barbara Charles, with first class honors. Joycelyn DeGale, with first class honors. Denicia Ganes Phillip, with first class honors. Lalita Gibson, with first class honors. Lindonna Laguerre. Tyria Lendor Mills, with first class honors. Vanessa Patrice. Louise Patrick Dabrio, with first class honors. Leslie-Ann Peters, with first class honors. Denise Roberts, with first class honors. Jennifer Rodney, with first class honors. Natasha Thomas, with first class honors. Esther Williams. Giselle Williams, with first class honors. Judy Williams. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences, Chanel Andrews. Diane Caton. Marisi Francis with first-class honors. Nadia Gibbs Robertson. Cadella Henry with first-class honors. Cecilia Joseph. Jason Lewis. Kate Lewis with first-class honors. Sheena Lewis with first-class honors. Carolyn McQuilkin with first-class honors. Charlene Thomas with first-class honors. Montserrat, Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences, Nemisha Gibbons. Shawman Gray. Fiona Mead. Maria Silcott. Richard Stout. Rochelle Stout. St. Kitts and Nevis, Bachelor of Education, Delith Christmas. Dalton Esdale. Jazeth Lewis with first-class honors. Diana Matthew. Dale Phipps. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences, Helena Charles. Jamal Collins. Mavis Daniel. Chanel Doe with first-class honors. Chevelle Esdale. Serene Esdale Henry. Shanika French. Naricia Jeffers. Misha Michael. Anelia Mulrain with first class honors. Amethyst Paris. Hersha Pringle. Cashmine Thompson. Wendy Wilkes. St. Lucia. Bachelor of Education, Eve Imab. Fabiana Alphonse Modeste. Janice Anthony. Lisa Shalmine with first class honors. Antonia Charles. Crescentia Cumby with first class honors. Denisa Edward. Augusta Gabriel with first class honors. Dennis Murray. Vanetta Paul. Liz Richard Altifor with first class honors. Alicia St. Louis. Ian St. Helen with first class honors. Nacia Thomas. Desiree Walcott. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences, Janisa Alexander. Nelisa Anthony. Glendora Batiste. Charmaine Bodley. Francilia Casimir. Aura Charles. Jelaine Clary with first class honors. Myra Delis with first class honors. Nikki De Rivere. Jillian Doe. Kisha Edgar. Twain Edward. Severin Emmanuel. Frida Flood. Sophia Graves. Sylvia Henry with first class honors. Marshall Hippolyte with first class honors. Eliza James. Stacy Jean-Louis. Elsa Joseph. Carolisa Joseph with first class honors. Lydia Joseph. Rikasha Jules. Lana Labadi. Peter Lewis. Kimisha Maturi. Nadia Mathieu. Nadia Mathieu with first class honors. Sheldon Mathieu. Leona Meliu. Kimberly Mills. Ashley Mondezer. Finella Monrose. Chanel Phillip with first class honors. Shea Rennie. Luan Reno. Cheryl Rizmi with first class honors. Janelle Sagu Singh. Yana Sinol. Beverlyan St. Martin. Bachelor of Science Nursing, Tisha Nelson. Certificate in Human Resource Management, Faye Hunt. Careful. Diploma in Health and Family Life Education Instruction, Denise Darcy. Diploma in Social Services, Lovelyn Butcher. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Bachelor of Education, Natasha Lavier. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences, Joselle Byron. Maxine Glasgow Cuttle with first class honors. Trinidad and Tobago, Bachelor of Education, Alison Francis. Diazra Jackson Joseph. Marisha John with first class honors. Sandra Saunders. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences, Jessica Edgehill. Venish Ramdath. Dave Ramdeen. Associate of Science, Josette Sori Lezama.
Well done, Dr. Warrican, well done. I now call on the class valedictorian, Mr. Claxton Dewberry, Bachelor of Education, Leadership and Management with his major, with first-class honors from the Open Campus Antigua and Barbuda, to deliver the valedictory address.
Chancellor, Her Excellency Dame Paulette Louise, Governor General of St. Lucia, His Excellency Sir Rodney Williams, Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda, and Lady Williams, His Excellency Sir Edmund Lawrence, Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis, Honorable Philip J. Pierre, Acting Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Honorable Ministers of Government, representative of the Canadian High Commission in Barbados, members of the University and Open Campus Councils, Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellor, and other members of the Platform Party, members and staff of the University of the West Indies, honorary graduates, fellow graduates, family and friends of the graduating class of 2014, ladies and gentlemen. Is the platform, not me. Not me. Graduates all, I'm encouraged to say, without restraint, yes, yes, we have made it. We have made it to the finish line. That at one time or another seemed unreachable. We have made it through all the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs, the challenges and the successes. I'm sure many of you will admit that when we here in the starting blocks, you were filled with fear and trepidation, while for others, you felt fear, sheer confidence. In my life, I never once imagined that I would be here, standing before you in a first place position as your valedictorian. I was born and raised in a community in Antigua and Barbuda with little upward mobility and where poverty and crime are the norm. Standing before you now was only a dream which now has been realized. I clearly remember as I was growing up, the 1 meal per day, the hand-me-down clothes, and the peer pressure to make quick money. I also remember the stern warning from my parents who encouraged me to remain focused, to finish high school, and to get a job, to concentrate on sustainability that only education could provide. It was not easy to stay on the straight and narrow path, especially when all the lanes to the future appeared crooked. But I was fortunate. My mother, my first life coach, handed me a baton, weighted with the preparation of the realities of the world. Socioeconomic realities, it seemed to me, made it impossible for me to get a break. My baton, however, became lighter as I found comfort in the training ground and the professional choices I made. I admit that entering the teaching profession was never my first career option. However, it was the better option for me to make my mother, a Caribbean woman, proud. That burning desire in me was to use education as the answer to my family's socio-economic predicament. In the words of Emile Zatopek, a runner must run with dreams in his heart. We are here today because those dreams were in our hearts. Do you remember the sound of the buzzer to start our first heat? The anxiety, the anticipation, the first step towards the completion of our dreams? At the sound of the gun, many took off like bullets. Others followed close behind, while some fast started. Somehow, we had not determined whether or not we had sufficiently warmed up, or if we should put in our 100% at the beginning, or if we should just pace ourselves. We learned and lived the steps of a transformational leader. We validated ourselves, articulated our vision, ensured that learning took place, and embraced the diversity around us. We were determined and internally motivated. We were committed and became trustworthy and goal-oriented. Along the way, we became reflective practitioners and depended on intelligence and wisdom. We became advocates for the change and necessitated that change. What we did know was that irrespective of our start, we validated ourselves by undertaking our studies. The Right Honorable Sir John Cuntham, St. Lucia's first Prime Minister, incorporated validating identities and philosophies against tremendous opposition through unionism and politics, forging a path to allow us to stand today in St. Lucia in the year when they celebrate 35 years of independence. For many of us, our opposition was within and without ourselves. We tackled our first hurdle with some doubt, but like great leaders, we rallied on. Staying in our perspective lane, we managed to articulate our vision. From the sideline, our tutors implored us to articulate meaningful vision, think the strategies through, critically plot the path, and go the extra mile. As we paced ourselves, one thing was sure: learning took place. In the back of our mind, the subconscious chant, "Be the light rising from the west, encourage each step." I recall my first set of e-tutors taking their time to understand that this was all new and easily forgave me for my mistakes. As a result, my academic hurdles became achievable obstacles because of the relationship that was fostered. My training was matched with responsible and caring coaches. It was not normally in my life for those in authority to listen and care about one's experiences. They encouraged, respect, and gave it too. As such, I was able to explore, evaluate, and make decisions rather than to be given directives. This made my training much more valuable. For me, UWI was the best thing since Antigua and Barbuda's own Olympian, Daniel Baker Bailey. Fellow graduates, I want you to think back for a moment in time when it felt we were in a marathon. Along the way, we became weary and I dare say despondent. The motivation was wearing thin and the adrenaline subsiding. Halfway, the heat took a toll on us. The assignments were coming fast and furious. Some tutors were missing in action, and at times, family and other personal emergency threatened our qualifying times. Teammates were nowhere to be found, and to top it off, there was always a super sprinter far ahead of us, putting us to shame. Nevertheless, determination was on our side. Like the sheer determination that led Sir Vivian Richards, captain of the West Indies, from 1984 to 1991 to never lose a test series. Transformation leaders are determined. They are the movers and shakers. Once we determine within ourselves to be the next Usain Bolt or the Shelley and Fraser Prize and make and break records within our own field, once we determine within ourselves to be the next Dr. Samuel Rollins, working to find ways to combat dengue fever within our own discipline, and once we determine within ourselves to be the next David Rudder and lead the charge to rally around our Caribbean brothers and sisters, we will be able to achieve change. We have the skill, the raw talent, the determination right here, sitting in this space. As posited by the Honorable Gaston Brown, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, I am a product of that transformation. I therefore carry in my heart a deeper commitment and passion to build on their legacy. Let these words resonate in our mind as change agents for the universities of the West Indies and the Caribbean. I know I am part of that transformation and forge ahead with the passion ingrained within this legacy. I want to share a bit about how the transformation leadership themes were made manifest in my own ways. Like many of you, the reality of not having the financial support to complete my race had begun to shatter my dreams of the beginning of dreams of becoming the first degree holder in my family as early as my first lap. My cousin Rico would always say, "We are depending on you to get us out of the matrix," and I could not disappoint. In September 2011, it very much looked as if I was destined to stay within the matrix and was ready to fake an injury, so to speak. I was beginning to think that I had false started with my dreams of study, and it was not my turn. I had made a decision to withdraw from UWI because I could not find the funds to push through. I went to the Open Campus Antigua office on the day I decided to withdraw. My frustration and despondence were compounded that day, as when I arrived, for some reason or other, the office was closed when I got there. While I walked home and pondered the stagnant reality as a norm in my life, and why, even when I put my best effort forward and tried so hard to legally and morally transition from the ghetto, why I could not catch a break. It so happened that at that very moment, my deeply depressed state was interrupted by a telephone call from a Mr. Anthony Perry, whose resonant voice congratulated me on being a recipient of the UWI Open Scholarship for which I had applied. I was so winded by the experience, I had to call the number back immediately to speak to Mr. Perry again to ensure that it was not a cruel prank. He must have doubted my sanity and eligibility for the award at that moment, as the callback was so swift. I remember thanking the good Lord for that second win. After that, I was not sure what to expect. My local side seemed unaware of the specifics of the award and questioned why the award was structured the way it was. When I wrote to Pamela Dotton, who eventually brought the actual check to Antigua for me, I remember her responding on my behalf that the UWI Open Campus students as recipients of an award are equal to and as important as those from the 3 residential campuses, Mona, Cavell, and St. Augustine, and that all Open Scholarship recipients are entitled to the same benefits. I also remember Ms. Janet Grant calling several times from Jamaica to ensure the funds were received, especially as I was the first Open Campus student to be given the award. Later, I remember Dr. Florence Cheese and Ms. Annette Argenson telling me to call on them anytime I had a problem. I knew from that point I was carrying a mantle and therefore had to represent for Antigua and Barbuda, for my family and for the Open Campus and myself. This UWI Open Scholarship for me now was the best thing since Keshawn Walcott. Through this experience and the relationship fostered, the University of the West Indies believed in me when I had become accustomed to naysayers, motivated me when I was accustomed to demotivation, and inspired me when I was accustomed to stagnancy. My UWI experience was more than academic. It was about understanding, appreciating, and valuing the ties that bind us together as Caribbean people. As I was being transformed, the race became less of a chore, but a willing embrace. And for this, I say UWI Open Campus is the best thing since Karani James. I say thank you to all who made my experience an enjoyable one. Thank you to my coaches and teammates for their support and encouragement, particularly St. Lucia's best e-tutors, Dr. Wendy Mancheri, Miss Rafina Charles, and my adopted mother, Julie Blanchard. Thank you to members of my learning community, my families and friends, particularly my mother, who have been my rock and my strength. My final year saw me overseas in Boston, engaging in a month's intensive training session, participating in my practicum, organizing and executing a year-long program to celebrate my institution's 100 years of existence, and to top it all off, making wedding plans and marrying the most wonderful, caring, supportive woman in the world, my First Lady, Mrs. Shanique Jubilee. I stand before you humble, yet proud, for being the first UWI Open Scholarship recipient of the Open Campus, representing my nation of Antigua and Barbuda, and being the first of the recipients of that scholarship from the Open Campus to graduate. I also stand before you to implore you as graduates and members of the Open Campus community to give back more to help advance the mission of this institution to provide a regional academic center for generations to come. We need to leave a better institution than the one from which we graduated. I encourage the governments of the region to fulfill your obligations to UWI. In doing so, you are not investing in institutions. You are investing in your nationals, your citizens, your children. Sir Vivian Richards commented on becoming the captain of the West Indies team, and I quote, "There was a legacy long time before I came in, and it was my job to take the baton and make sure I held it tight and ran like hell. So, past, present, and future graduates of the University of the West Indies, I charge you to take our great institution's baton, build on its legacy, hold tight, and run like champions by investing in research, innovation, public service through UWI." We now understand that the race is not for the swift or the strong, but for those who endure to the end. Our training ground provided preparedness and drive, raw talent and skill, emotional maturity and resilience. Through support, a focused effort, and motivation, we became organized, committed to the race, and with discipline, pushed through to the very end. We now transition from being spectators in the stand of our lives, put on our spikes, ready ourselves for more hard work and continued success. Before I leave, I know it may appear to be a cliche to say, but we are all valedictorian. But even more so, we are transformational leaders. We have crossed the finish line. However, if you're asking yourself the question, what next? I say to you, you were in the wrong race. You were in the wrong event, and you were in the wrong meet. Instead, raise your prize in the air, take your first place position, carry the winning flag, be transformational leaders you are. So let the race begin again. I thank you.
Sir, I now call on Professor Wayne Hunt, Pro-Vice Chancellor Research, to present to you members of our society for the award of higher degrees and postgraduate diplomas.
Sir, I present to you these members of our society who, having fulfilled the requirements of this university, have been admitted to master's degrees, and beg that you recognize their advancement in our society.
By the authority vested in me, I confer on these persons whose names are about to be called master's degrees and postgraduate diplomas of this university and recognize their advancement in our society.
From the Bahamas, for the Master in Adult and Continuing Education, Colette Hines Ferguson. Antoinette Pinder. Christabel Simpson with distinction. From Dominica, for the Master of Arts in English Language, Sarah Douglas Perez. Helen Henry Ferdinand. From St. Lucia, for the Master in Adult and Continuing Education, Kizzy Garconet. For the Master of Education in Literacy Instruction, Bernadette Aimable, with distinction. Joan Brown. Sylvina Aristi Janke. Etheldreda Evans. Petra Jeffrey Mitchell with distinction. Sylvia Jordan. From St. Vincent and the Grenadines, for the Master of Arts in English Language, Shara Olivier Stewart. From Trinidad and Tobago, for the Master in Adult and Continuing Education, Maureen Bino. Alicia de Silva Didier. For the Master of Education in Literacy Instruction, Lucy Bedeau. Regina Betan de la Rosa. Angela Williams. I have to pause, I have no prompter. No. Sir, I present to you this member of our society who, having fulfilled the requirements of this university, has been admitted to the degree of Doctor of Medicine. And beg that you recognize their advancement in our society.
By the authority vested in me, I confer on this person whose name is about to be called the degree of Doctor of Medicine of this university, and I'm pleased to recognize her advancement in our society.
And it's from St. Lucia. For the Doctor of Medicine in Obstetrics and Gynecology at the Mona campus, Lucilla Charles.
I now call on the alumni representative, Ms. Lydia Daria, to lead the graduates, I'm terribly sorry, in the alumni pledge. Ms. Daria.
Graduates, please stand and join me in proudly saying the UWI Alumni Pledge found on page 52 of your program. As a graduate of the University of the West Indies, I commit myself to uphold the ideals and goals of my alma mater. My conduct and voice shall reflect the commitment to excellence of a light rising from the West as I fulfill my social and professional responsibilities and serve my community and region. I will strive to ensure the UWI's place as a Caribbean icon, the catalyst for Caribbean development and leadership. It is a legacy that I will proudly help build for future generations. The UWI, first in our hearts and first in our region. Thank you and congratulations on your achievement. You may take your seats.
Now, much has been made, and our valedictorian referred to it, to the duty obligations we have to those who support us along the way. So I'm going to ask you graduates to stand and turn and look at those persons who have supported along your relatives and give them a really loud round of applause. Stand and thank them. Well done indeed. Before I bring this ceremony to a close, I'd like to make one comment, which I sometimes do, but this time I do with great pleasure, to compliment you graduates on the way you turn yourselves out. I was taken by the comment made by Dr. Long about appearances. And if your appearances this morning is an indication of what you will be like as graduates of university, I am very comfortable indeed. Well done. And let me be sexist and say both ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank many persons. No ceremony like this goes on without a lot of support from many persons. I like first of all to thank the registrar, Ms. Karen Ford Warren, and her team for having organized this so beautifully. I'd like to thank the government of St. Lucia in general, but more specifically, I'd like to thank the Governor General, who has been most gracious in following the preparations for this event and taking a personal interest in how this event was organized, down to what I won't tell you some of the things that she did. But I'd like to thank you very much, dear Perlette, for your contribution to the efficiency of this ceremony, how well it has turned out. The other persons in the government of St. Lucia, I'd like to thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Education for their support, and many other officials whose name I will not call, who contributed so much to the success of this morning's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings to a close the public ceremony by which the University of the West Indies has signalized the award of degrees, associate degrees, diplomas, and certificates to its graduates. The company will now disperse, but not before permitting me to escort the Governor General and allowing the other persons who accompanied me to retire in recessional order.
of the ceremony with the Chancellor, the Governor General, and those at the higher table. Now, walking out, this will be followed by the graduates or the graduates, and everyone will have to wait until this procession has taken place. Well, for me today, looking back, one of the things that's so important was where we heard the Chancellor himself saying that your degrees acquired today have come with obligations. And in that sense, he's saying too that you too have to give back something to society and to others to come who will follow in your footsteps.